So today is Friday the 16th of January. We are all here to pay respect to the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. This is one of the duties that we must do as a Buddhist. So we regularly do it, morning and evening chanting. And the reason behind it we're doing is not just being a Buddhist, but we have seen that we have a great faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. So we take a refuge on the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha is known as the triple Zen, or triple refuges. So we Buddhists take refuge in these three incomparable gems to guide us towards the noble conduct. And this taking a refuge is called Sarana Gamana in Pali. So Sarana Gamana. Sarana means refuge. Sarana means refuge. Gamana means going. Basically, it means that approaching the three greatest, these incomparable gems, to have a right path and a right conduct, to find the path and the fruition on this path to the liberation. So Sarana also means the protection against the harm and a danger, particularly harm and a danger that comes from having a wrong faith and taking a wrong refuges, like going into the mountains and rivers and trees, hoping that and these will protect us from all these natural disasters and whatever all other dangers may arise. According to the Buddha, that is not the right refuge. So, by paying homage and respect to the Buddha, one who knows what should be known, is the greatest of all, and is the greatest teacher who has bestowed the correct way and happiness, welfare and liberation to the entire beings. Called Sattva, Deva, Manusana, both teachers of the gods and the humans. And it is not just because he taught, but he also completely completed all these tasks, completely pure, perfectly in thought, words and deed. And we also venerate him as the Arahant, which means blameless. Blameless and pure. So as a Buddhist, we bow down our heads in a deep respect, in a form of a great veneration to the Buddha. So, and the Buddha as a greatest teacher who had shown the path without any expectation from us, the path that leading towards the liberation. and his teachings, the gem of the Dhamma, which is the noble teachings of the enlightened Buddha. The homage paid to Dhamma, or the teachings of the Buddha, signifies following the teachings of a right view, right conduct, right mindfulness, and etc., for the sake of a noble peace and a purity. So indeed, the noble Dhamma always teaches all living beings to avoid evil doing or unwholesome actions, to do good things, the wholesome actions, or cultivate the good thing, and to purify the mind. So the purification of the mind is the key. But in order to purify, we have to make sure that avoiding any unwholesome deeds and cultivating the good things. Unwholesome deeds here, we can concentrate on the 5 precepts, which is not to kill, not to harm, not to steal, not to take, and not to have a sexual misconduct, not to lie, and not taking intoxicants that clouds the mind. And in terms of the doing good things, being generous, and then practicing the sila, which is the practice of the 5 precepts, and then the cultivation of the mind. And with that, it helps to purify the mind. By these means, or a guidance, a salvation from this cycle of a birth and a death can be achieved. And that's a Nibbana. So that's why this teachings is called a Sanditthiko, the virtue of the Dhamma that immediately can be realized, and it is peaceful, and happiness is experienced here and now. Sanditthiko. Also, there are other benefits, benefits of welfare in the next life, after truth realization, to immediately benefit in this life are also quite certain. So in this incomparable, unique Dhamma saves all living beings from harm and danger. Not only does it protect those who follow the right path, but also it destroys evil and suffering. So this is the quality that when someone follows the Dhamma properly, will not go down to the awful states, prevent from falling into the darkness. So similarly, we take we pay respect to the Sangha, or the gem of the Sangha, by paying homage to the Sangha. Even a silent, or even silently expression of our respect to the Sangha is a wholesome deed that brings the great progress and a welfare for such devotees. Now, there are different types of the Sanghas, and the true Sanghas in this sasana, or in this teaching, in this Buddha dispensation, are properly ordained. Those who have been ordained are, and also the good virtue, they have a good virtue and prevent danger and harms that beset mankind, which is the reason why we can see that venerable monks in a America walking for the peace, simply to prevent from any harm and danger may occur to the human history. So with a right understanding of the virtue of the noble Sangha, defilements are destroyed in our hearts and the mind. So that's why these are some of the qualities that we, as a Buddhist, pay respect to the Triple Gem. So we fully respect and homage by all right thinking, of being a Buddhist in every way. In another form, when we look at it, whenever we take a refuge on the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, that also actually confirms that following the path leading to the liberation. Technically, one becomes a Buddhist. And here, a Buddhist doesn't mean that you have to convert, but you are taking the path towards the liberation in your own understanding and knowledge. Obviously, there are traditional Buddhists may not practicing Buddhism, but take the refuge on a Triple Gem and becomes Buddhist. But actual taking refuge on the Buddha Dhamma Sangha or taking a triple refuge is to follow the path so that we can walk the path towards the liberation. And this is called the Saranagamana. So basically, it's for the worldly livings. It's a declaration that one declaration of having these three refuges. But in an ultimate sense, this declaration should be meaning, or is meaning, means that one with the right view will appreciate and honor the virtue of the Triple Gem. Now, the knowledge brings wisdom. So, a good Buddhist is certain to make a moral and spiritual progress by cultivating the virtue as set out by the Triple Gem. So as a result, whoever has taken the Triple Gem, it is believed, and also it's not just a belief, but also we can imagine that someone who has taken this path will have a long life, because they're living life with a clear mind. They're living life with not harming or not harboring any negativity towards other people much, and looking towards the cultivation and the liberation. And in the meantime, they will have beauty, inner beauty and outer beauty. Outer beauty, their posture, their composition of the bodily activities becomes very elegant. Whenever they are talking, their talk becomes articulately crafted. So speaking only what is good, speaking with the kindness and compassion, and wearing clothes also neatly. Whenever they are walking with the kindness and compassion, Even each step they put, their steps becomes combined with the kindness and the compassion. There is no intention of causing any harms to any beings, whether that is by physical body or speech. So that's called the worldly beauty that one acquires. In terms of the inner beauty, their mind is always combined or always infused with the four Brahma Viharas, the loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimous mind. And these four qualities is not easy to develop, but once we have developed these four qualities, then that person becomes a beautiful person. And obviously, due to the longevity and beautiful, both inside and outside, and whatever they are doing with great respect and a great kindness and a compassion, their fame will increase. People began to see that person as a noble, or that person as an exemplar, so that we can see that whenever there are good monks walking around, people follow them. Like in America now, I heard that there are 1 million people following on their social media. And every time when they arrived in one of the cities or passing the villages, thousands of them gathered to welcome them. And it's become a sensational news across America as well as in the world. So that leads to the followers that follows. So there are quite a number of benefits of being a true followers of a triple gem, or just being a Buddhist. So that's why it is indeed a great opportunity and fortunate that we have this path that we have found, and following the path, working on it. So we see the virtues of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And that's simply because the Buddha is a supreme, who has got the supreme compassion and a wisdom for the sake of the suffering of the humanity in the cycle of a birth and a death, the so-called samsara. And he realized that the people are burning with the desires and the lust and hatred and delusion. Having seen that the people, or all the beings, are burning with these desires, his intention is to teach the Dhamma, the noble Dhamma, so that among these people could find path or ways to deal with it and walking the path leading towards the liberation. When we reflect among the great teachers of the history, we see that the Buddha is one of the greatest teacher who lived for 45 years without causing any conflicts to anybody, without causing troubles to one nation to the another, but lived for 45 years after his enlightenment and taught with a yeah, great kindness and compassion. So that's why these are the qualities that the Buddha is the greatest teacher. So he is the blessed one, noble one, and self-enlightened, that we have taken a refuge. And similarly, his teachings always encourage us to live life mindfully, not heedless. And eradicating the ignorance, freeing ourselves from any sorts of attachments, which is the main root cause of all other problems. So according to the Buddha's teachings, the Dhamma, ignorance and attachments are the two main causes of all sufferings and troubles that we have to face. The basic term, we have to return back to this cycle of a birth and a death. And pretty much, as long as we haven't seen the Dhamma clearly, we're all swimming in this vast ocean of the samsara, facing death, birth and a death again and again. So the Dhamma the Buddha taught is urgently necessary for all of us not to be sink on this vast ocean of the samsara due to the ignorance and attachments, but to come out from it. And particularly we who haven't seen the true Dhamma yet, it is very necessary for us to take the refuge and study the Dhamma so that we can step out from these ignorance and attachment. As we realize that Buddha's unique Dhamma points and exhorts the right way to greatest purity and freedom. As a result, the Dhamma should be respected highly, and we pay respect to this Dhamma with a great devotion and respect. But similarly, without someone who is carrying up to down, like 2,560 years later, we are so fortunate to have this opportunity. And that's simply because there were carriers who have taken the task to preserve and transmit generation after generation. And one who has taken this task as the greatest, utmost important task to preserve the Dhamma are the Sanghas, the venerable monks. So that's why the Sangha here doesn't mean a single person, it means a community who have totally submitted themselves to the Triple Zen and walking the path towards uprooting the greed, hatred and delusion. They have also seen the benefit of following the path and learning the teachings such as the Four Noble Truths, which means there is suffering, it has a cause, and the suffering can be ended. There is a path to the end of the suffering. So walking on this path and the fruition, these sanghas, out of compassion, have preserved and also presented, transmitted to the future generation one after another, and as a result, it's up to us. So taking those virtues of this Sangha, not only they have committed themselves to study and purify themselves, but also preserving the greatest teachings and transmitting it to the new generation as a reminder for all of us, as an example for all of us to follow this path. Hence, it has been a tradition to offer at least for 4 requisites to the venerable monks in whatever way we possible, collecting those virtues of their dedication, determination, and kindness and compassion to transmit or pass on the great teachings of the Buddha for the liberation, freeing from suffering to all living beings. So therefore, sanghas are well-deserved respect and homage from all of us. That's probably another reason why the Buddha also said in the qualities of the Sangha that they are the greatest field of the merits. So basically the incomparable recipients as they belong to the holy community. And offering these 4 requisites to this holy community brings great results and great merits. As we know that noble offering brings noble effects. So that's why these bhikkhus, these venerable monks, are known as the field of merits that we should be thinking of taking time to communicate, taking time to look after, and taking time to study the Dhamma from them, so that we also will follow the path to not falling into the darkness, but to find the way to lead to the liberation. So these are the reasons why, as a Buddhist, we take a refuge, not only in a conventional level, but also in terms of finding the path and the fruition with the study and proper investigation, practicing the Dhamma, with the support of the Sangha community, the venerable monks, who are like a nurse. So the Buddha is like a doctor, Dhamma is like a medicine, and the Sangha is like a nurse who will look after, take care, and take you to follow the path to the liberation, freeing yourself from the samsara. So this is the task that we have been doing regularly as much as possible, with a great respect and a veneration. And this is known as the Saranagabana. So taking the 3 refuges, and we are respecting these 3 refuges with a great respect and honor and appreciation for the teachings and bringing up to us. So I offer this as a reflection for today, and now we will do the further chanting.